Hi everyone, I'm happy to see you. I'm Nutila. I'm gonna guide you during this online preparation for the IELTS exam. Let's start. What we're gonna cover today. The first thing, this is the structure of the IELTS exam itself. And then the second component element of our lesson, this is the difference between paper-based styles and computer-based styles. And the third one is to kind of guide us, general tips for you, like what to do, how to do, where to start, and how to prepare for the exam. Let's share the presentation. I'm going to share the presentation with you. Here's it. So as it is given here, IELTS, this is the like short abbreviation of the exam, International English Language Testing System. So mainly IELTS exam has two types here, just in order to be sure what kind of test you're gonna take and prepare for it. The first thing, this is the general IELTS, yeah, and the second thing is the academic IELTS. So let's clarify the main difference. The first one, general, is mostly for immigration. Like if you're immigrating to the English-speaking countries like Australia, New Zealand, here, or Canada, you will be required to pass the general IELTS. Academic IELTS is mainly for study, for education purpose, for application, for undergraduate program, for graduate programs, for non-native speakers. There is a requirement to pass international tests, IELTS or TOEFL. In our case, this is the academic IELTS exam. So, and let's clarify the format, yeah? So again, there are two types of format. The first one's a paper-based IELTS, kind of traditional type of IELTS, and the recent format is the computer-delivered IELTS. If I'm not mistaken, it was introduced in 2019, like about 1 year ago. There is kind of slight difference in terms of the format. So let's discuss it a bit with details. Yeah? Paper-based IELTS usually takes 2 days, like let's say Monday and Thursday. Yeah. So Monday, you're gonna pass your speaking part. On Thursday, you're gonna pass your main part. But again, it's general. Like as example, it would be different. It's up to your registration. When you are doing your registration on official website, yeah, you see dates. What kind of dates are available? In that case, the dates is about the main test. Like main test could be 22nd of August. It would be, let's say, Thursday or whatever, like any day of the week, yeah. And speaking, the details about speaking part will be sent to you before a week or like that. And you're gonna pass speaking in 1 day, and the next day, the day after of the test, you can pass the main test. Okay. Then, what about computer delivered IELTS? This is very convenient for those students who tend to procrastinate, or for those students who really have kind of burning deadlines, yeah, because computer delivered IELTS will take you kind of 1 day, only 1 day, like maybe in the afternoon you're gonna pass speaking part, in the morning you're gonna pass the main test, or vice versa, yeah, like in the morning main test, in the afternoon speaking. And what is most convenient about computer delivered IELTS, this is the time availability era, where you can there is options when you're registering to the test. Especially for speaking part, you can choose the time. You'll be given 3 options, and you can choose which time is like most available for you. It's much more convenient. And as another thing is about certificate here, for paper-based IELTS, actually it will take 14 days, like 2 weeks, about 2 weeks, while computer delivered results of the computer delivered IELTS will be available within 5-7 days. Just keep in mind about that. So here is it, like IELTS exam like covers 4 skills. This is the listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Okay, for skills and the content of a computer delivered IELTS and the content of the paper-based IELTS, both of them are the same. The difference only is in the format. Like we're gonna discuss it a bit later. So here is it, like fix the time and date in paper-based, while computer delivery tests the more dates, the available dates, as I said before. If you have deadlines here, it's much more comfortable to pass computer delivery IELTS. So we have already discussed about the availability. Certificate will be available in 14 days in paper-based. In computer delivery test, it will be available in 5-7 days. Here you see the main similarities. Content is the same, timing is the same, there is no difference. Question types also the same, scoring the same, test report the same, speaking test delivery the same, because in let's say paper-based IELTS, you're gonna pass your exam with the examiner in a test center face-to-face. In computer delivered IELTS, the same thing, you will pass your exam face-to-face, not online. And that's why just, again, the content is the same of the speaking part. And results verification, like both certificate, whether it is paper-based IELTS or computer-based IELTS, both of them verified, both of them kind of credible actually. But I would like to highlight the writing section, because in paper-based IELTS, let's say I'm gonna shorten PB. In paper-based IELTS, you should practice your handwriting. What you need, it is the pencil. Like when you're writing, when you're doing your practice, I do recommend to use pencils and write it as much as possible, and like correct your handwriting. Your handwriting should be proper one, like the examinators should understand your handwriting as well. Okay, so in terms of the computer-based IELTS or computer delivered IELTS, you should practice your typing skills. Like you should pass, you should be comfortable with keyboard, you should be comfortable with typing. So, and don't get me wrong, in terms of the correction of your words while typing, because when you're passing this test, there is no special program which corrects your spelling mistakes or which corrects your sentence construction. No, there is no kind of software program while passing the test. That's why, like you should be, you should write grammatically, you should write with correct grammar and with correct spelling. Okay. And I do recommend to pass your test with the British Council. There are a lot of other centers, and they're actually credible, but I do recommend, because British Council, the main reason for that, this is the guarantee, like your test, which is passed on with the help of the British Council in their center, it will be verified and guaranteed that the university or any educational organizations will accept your score. So please, like register in this website, British Council. So And here's a link for resources where you can find the exam dates, exam fees, and locations. Like you should register if you're planning, if you're like really planning to pass this IELTS exam. You should register beforehand, at least 2 weeks before the exam. So here's the assessment system. What I would like to cover in this stuff, this is a bit general, still it is relevant. The first thing, this is the task achievement. As you see here, task achievement is a very important part of this test. Mainly it is relevant for speaking part and for writing part and reading, I guess, as well. In listening, you should just complete the given gaps by listening and catching some information. So task achievement, this is whether you answered question or not, and whether you have responded correctly or not. So in speaking part, especially when you're given questions here, you should answer properly. In writing task, again, firstly, you should answer the question and write it in your body and body two, body one and body two, and then provide kind of supporting arguments. In reading the same, you should answer the question. You cannot use your background knowledge. Everything that you can, this is just relying on the text, relying on the passages. Based on the text, you should answer the question, okay? The same for listening. You will be given questions, you will be given gaps, and relying on audio recordings, you should answer the question, any background knowledge or kind of stuff. So second important stuff, be aware of the time. Oh, this is painful question, time management. Yeah, we call them the time management. So because this exam is very fixed, they have a time limit. You cannot use like extra time, or you don't have this extra time. And you should be aware of the timing while preparation as well. Like you are practicing your reading, you are practicing your listening part or writing part. You should always keep your timer and always like fix how much time do you spend, or how much time do you usually spend on a certain sections, okay? And you should limit your time because it's very important. You should work out your habit, like to do the tasks not for 2 hours, not for 3 hours, but for 20 minutes, for 40 minutes, for an hour maximum, not more. Okay, we're going to talk about a bit later about time management. So in terms of these sections, now next one, this is the score. So by score, I mean that as you have already decided to pass this IELTS exam, it needs a good preparation. Yeah, it goes without saying. And second thing, like you should know what kind of score do you really need. Like I need 6.5, or for me 6.0 it's enough, or oh I need 7 point and above, or I need 7.5 or 8 point for each section. Please, like you should set up your goal score, like aim score here. What kind of score do you really need after passing that exam? And you're gonna work for that score. If you need high score, you're gonna work hard. If you need kind of 6 point, 6.5, also it needs hard working. It's very kind of a bit, maybe it could be a bit exhausting, but don't be afraid. It's next thing is don't panic, yeah, when you mistakes. Like you should be aware that this is exam and it needs real preparation. And we're really interested in maintaining your preparation. So that's why just be ready for that. Yeah. So the third thing is about score. You know that maximum score, this is the 9, and this is the overall score. And for each section also, the maximum score will be 9, and overall it's the average score from each section, okay? The minimum score is a 0. 0, maximum, this is a 9.0. Like do not rely on your background knowledge, because yeah, it's good if you have good English level, is one of the requirements, but you should know the structure of the test, okay? You should know how to answer the questions, how to write the essay, how to respond in speaking part, and some details as well. Then next, one of the important thing, this is the emotional statement, your emotional statement. Like as it is given there, don't panic when you make mistakes. It's really important. Like you shouldn't panic while preparation. You should not panic during the test. So because when you are let's say nervous, or when you are worried about something, you tend to make mistakes. So please don't panic. And while preparation, if you're doing some mistakes, again, it is important to understand what is your mistakes, why was it done in that way. You should know your mistakes first. Okay, doing mistakes is acceptable, but the second important thing, this is correcting your mistake. Like after each practice, after each session, you should do correction work. Yeah, if you need any assistance, of course you're welcome, you can ask, but most important thing, you should be aware about correction work. Okay, next thing is about grammar accuracy. Mm, yeah, like let's say in that way, you should not write the longest sentence or the paragraph as one sentence. Also, you cannot write two short sentences. Like there are a lot of sentence constructions with clauses, with different formulas, structures. Yeah. So again, there should be not one type of grammar structure. There should be a wide range of grammatical structures. So you should sharpen your grammar. You cannot ignore the grammar because it's also one of the important components of this exam, but still it needs practice. Yeah, the same is accuracy. By accuracy, I mean the punctuation. I mean your structure of your sentences, or let's say some kind of spelling mistakes. Yeah, you should try to avoid such kind of inaccurate things. Okay. Next is the last but not least, this is a wide range of vocabulary. Um, if you have a good vocabulary background, like let's say advanced or upper intermediate or good intermediate here, so it's okay, it's good. Like later we will just sharpen your vocabulary, adding some idioms, adding some collocations, yeah, and while speaking, while writing, you're gonna use these words. But if you don't have a good vocabulary background, be ready that it could be really difficult, because you should extend your vocabulary, develop your vocabulary. At the same time, you should prepare for the test. Like this is double work. But don't worry. Again, don't panic, because it's achievable. If you're managing your time properly, if you're working hard and determined enough, yeah, everything is achievable. Okay, just you should be aware that vocabulary is one of the important things. And here's the example about animals. Yeah, like this is the example for how we're gonna study the vocabulary. Like, of course, there would be a bunch of words, there would be a bunch of collocations, idioms, linking words. Yeah, but the thing is, we will organize it in the format of a mind map or association map, association diagram. So the point is, while speaking or while writing, before writing or before speaking, you should revise, and while speaking, you should use those vocabulary during your speech or during your time. Like, there is no necessity to learn by heart without context. Like vocabulary should be taught and should be learned within the context. Okay. So this is the general kind of tips, advices about assessment, right? So one more time, the first is the task achievement. Second, this is the score of time management. The third one is the score. First one, like emotional statement. Yeah, you should be able to resist to the stress. Sixth one, grammar and accuracy, and fifth one, vocabulary. Like keep in mind about these components of assessment. So next thing again, mm, as I said before, this is the proper time management. As you can see here, the speaking part, it is about 15-20 minutes. Second, this is a reading part. This is 60 minutes or 1 hour. The writing 60 minutes an hour, and listening, this is a 30 minutes. Okay. So while preparation, you should keep this time framework in your mind and try to finish, try to complete all the tasks during this framework. Okay. So now let's talk about the IELTS speaking part. So IELTS speaking part actually consists, as I said before, it consists of 3 parts. Part number 1, part number 2, and part number 3. So the first part, oh my goodness, the first part, this is the, just a second. The simple questions are personal questions about you. Like in part 1, you're gonna talk about yourself. Like you're gonna enter to the exam room, yeah, or auditory or classroom, and if it is a paper-based, yeah, and computerly read as well. So, and the examiner will ask you some personal questions. Who are you? What do you do? Are you a student? What's your favorite book? Or what's your favorite place where you tend to spend your free time? All questions about you and your personality. Okay, be ready for that. And they're just simple. Okay, they are simple, and you should just respond to the question. Kind of warm up activity, like icebreaker. The get to know each other. Then second part, actually, this is the cue card. Yeah, cue card, or sometimes they call them the topic. Like here, there would be questions and sub questions, and you should answer the question. Like, and you will be given 1 minute. Yeah, and 1 minute for preparation. By the way, just a second. This is a preparation time. You will be given a piece of paper like that, and like kind of pencil. Yeah, the examiner will give you such kind of tool, and what you need is just to write some plans, like not sentences, because 1 minute is not enough, because usually there are 4 questions, and you should organize your ideas, like what to say, or just try to make up a story if you don't have such kind of experience. Okay, then after 1 minute, during the 2 or 3 minutes, you should speak. Like there would be timer, and examiner will like ask you to speak, and you should answer the question. Again, we will discuss about some peculiarities of the part 2 in the following sessions. It's just general structure. Okay, so again, in part 1, you don't see the questions. There are you and examiner, and he or she is asking questions. Kind of, again, as I said before, it's a warm-up activity. Yeah? In part 2, you'll be given a stripe of paper, and with questions, several questions, and after receiving that cue card, yeah, you'll be given a piece of paper and pencil for preparation. It will take about 1 minute, and after that, you should speak for 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, then part 3. Part 3, it is a bit academic questions. Yeah, so part 2, like there is a certain topic. That's why sometimes it is called like topic card. Yeah, topic. Let's say like your favorite cafe or restaurant. Describe please your cafe or restaurant. Where is it? Why do you like it? Who do you go with there? And what is the where is it, where it is located, and when did you visit this place last time? Yeah, like kind of sub questions about the topic. Yeah. So and then okay, here was about the cafe. Yeah, and the part three will be about the cafe and restaurants, about maybe about public places. Okay, like topic, you're gonna answer the questions which are related to the topic, which is in the part two. Okay, that's why there was a kind of sign that part two and part three, they are connected with each other, but only in terms of the topic. Okay, or theme. Questions will be, as it is given there, more academic. Okay, they will be academic question like, why do people in your country tend to visit cafe or restaurants? Do people in your country usually visit the restaurants? Yeah, or how often do people take orders from the restaurants and cafe? You see, it's a more academic question, but still the topic is about cafe and restaurants. Okay, so and now I would like to show you the sample of this kind of test. Just a second. So now we're gonna look at the sample of speaking part, just in order to know how is it constructed. Sorry, just a second. Here's it. You see, as I said before, like part one and parts in part one and in part three, you don't see the questions. Yeah, like you should understand the questions. In part one, like again this example, and part two, this it looks like that. It would be given in the form of the card. Yeah, and part three, like here, the topic is about work or studies, and the part three about discussing problems with others. Oh, here was describe interesting discussion that you had as part of your work or study discussion, interesting discussion. And in part three, as you can notice, the part three is about discussion, about debate, about communication skills. Again, at work, because in part two there was topic about your discussion in work or discussion at work or studies. You see, they are related. While part one is a simple question like, do you ever save money to buy special things about you about saving ability, yeah? Or would you ever take a job which had a low pay? You see, it's questions, personal questions. But again, part one, you don't see question. Part two, you see questions and you will be given time. And part three, again, you don't see the questions. Just be ready for that, okay? Uh, Let's go back to our uh, presentation. So in order to get a high score, the highest band scores between seven and above, yeah, till 9. So you should you should use a wide range of vocabulary. By wide range, I mean idioms, I mean collocations, phrasal verbs. Yeah, you should like kind of mix up your vocabulary with this language elements. Okay, and again, there would be a separate lesson about speaking parts, strategy, how to answer to a certain type of question. So that's why, like, don't worry, it's just general ski matter. So next thing, just a second. Next slide is about writing section. Writing section consists of two types of tasks. This is a task number one, yeah, and this is a task number two. So task number one, we call them the charts, and there are different types of charts. So there are just examples. It could be bar chart, it could be pie chart, line graph, or another line graph. Okay, so there are a lot of, not a lot of, about 7 or 8 types of charts that will be probably given for you. So this is a chart, task number one, and you should write 150 words minimum. It will take 20 minutes and it will cost 1/3 of your score. While task number two, the main name title of this task, this is the essay. Okay, and there are again different types of essays. Let's say 5 or 6 types of essays that you should know and recognize it and answer and write properly. So minimum, you should write 250 words. It will take 40 minutes and it calls two-thirds of your score. Okay, and the general kind of logical chain, yeah, how to respond to writing task 1 and writing task 2. Like you should firstly think, it means understand the task, then you should plan it, then proofread. Like proofreading, it means after writing, you should read. Like it's very important in order to avoid spelling mistakes, punctuation mistakes, or just reorganize your paragraphs as well. So next is, sorry. So next section, this is a listening section, which consists of 4 parts and 40 questions. So don't forget that you will listen just once, like on one time, once, okay? You cannot repeat second time or third time. It's just impossible. So part 1, this is the conversation, it's a dialogue, mainly about everyday routine conversation between 2 people, which is set on social context. As I said before, it's our routine or everyday social context. Okay. Then part number 2 is a monologue. Yeah, in an everyday social context or speech about local facilities. It is mainly for monologue. Then part 3, this is a conversation between up to 4 people. It could be dialogue between or talk between students and professors or trainers and students, or whatever. So in the context is academic, university here, student discussion and assignment. Discussion, how to write certain projects, how to do certain assignments, for instance, yeah. Then part 4 again is a monologue, and mainly, not mainly, this is a lecture, like about academic topic. It could be about biodiversity, it could be about migration of birds, yeah, or like business lecture, yeah, like different topics, but context is academic. So this is it in terms of listening section. Then we have reading section, which can, again, as I said before, you will spend only 1 hour and you'll be given 3 passages, again 40 questions. It's approximately passage number 1, passage number 2, and passage number 3. Like here is 13 and the 14 questions, and overall we will get 40 questions. Okay, so like there is a kind of tendency that some students say that the first passage, the easiest one, the second passage, this is the like middle one, and the third passage is difficult. Yeah, for majority of students, it could seem in that way, but it depends on your reading ability. For some students, reading passage number 3 is the easiest one. Number 2 may be difficult. Number 1 very difficult. Like it's totally up to your reading ability. Okay. As I said before, like they recommend to spend 20, 20, and 20 minutes for each passage, but you should keep in mind that you will not be given time to copy your answers from the papers to the answer sheet. Actually, in IELTS test, there is the separate answer sheet. You should like complete fill this answer sheet. Like examiners will check out that answer sheet, not your papers. So this time filling the answer sheet is included in this 1 hour, within this 60 minutes. Like you should have an extra 3 or 5 minutes to complete this answer sheet. Okay, you can complete actually immediately, but I recommend to first to read and answer on the papers, and for those questions that you are sure for 100% that's correct, you can write on the answer sheet. the difficult questions you can complete a bit later after rereading, after trying to check one more time, or kind of like that. Again, about reading passages, type of questions, strategies, how to skim, how to scan, we will talk in the further in the next sessions. Okay. So yeah, here's it. The general. They are actually general tips. Yeah, how to overcome the challenges from the reading section. So the first one, yeah, do not try to read the question first, text first, and understand it fully. You don't need that. Like the main thing for you, the main kind of mission for you, this is you responding the question. That's why, firstly, please do us a favor, read the question first. Then second one, work with the context. Even if you don't know some words, it's in 90%, okay, in 80% it's possible to guess the meaning. You should not know, and you are not required to know all the words. It's okay if you know all the words, it will be much easier, but if you don't, you can guess the meaning of the certain words or phrases according to the context. So pay attention to instruction. There are a lot of instructions, and firstly, you should read the instruction and understand it correctly. Okay. Then practice, practice, and practice. You know, the like kind of sayings that practice makes perfect, and this is about IELTS. Like you should be determined, and you should be determined in terms of practice and correctional work. Like after practice, of course, you'll have certain mistakes, you have certain kind of problems. Yeah, please work out that stuff. And for that, we have the face-to-face online sessions where just real maybe conversational talk. Like try to practice more as much as possible. Okay. Then as I promised at the beginning of our video, there's some free advice. Yeah, read as much as possible. So, like you have decided, you have already decided to pass your IELTS test. You have paid for this course. Yeah, like you see, like you really feel yourself like, oh, I'm gonna pass this test. So please turn all your stuff, let's say mobile phones or laptop, everything, the language instruction should be turned into the English language. Why do you need that? The main reason this is, it will help to make you comfortable, make you feel comfortable with the language. Okay, so try to read as much as possible. Like it could be blogs, it could be magazines, newspapers, or any kind of news. Yeah, we have social platforms, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. Okay, so please at least follow to certain English resources. It could be BBC, it could be CNN, or any entertainment. It's not like strictly limited by news or any official resources. It could be funny, entertaining programs. It could be TV programs, or sign for the Netflix at least. Yeah, if you have already signed that stuff, in that case, just turn everything into English language and watch it. Movies, programs, TV shows, listen to the radio, podcasts. Oh, by the way, there are a lot of podcasts in English. So like read as much as possible from different resources. As I said before, as you have seen here from the structure, all four sections could combine academic as well as informal language. Like you should be ready for both styles. So that write as much as you can. You can start writing a diary. Why not? You can start or you can write with just writing what you have done during the day or what you're doing. Like try to write as much as possible. And of course, we will discuss the structure of the writing section, its tasks here. So you should do practice regularly. Like there is a keyword, not the, yeah, there are two keywords, the practice, and the second keyword, this is the regularly. Yeah, it's like it shouldn't be like you're practicing 5 hours at the weekend and during the whole week, next following week, you're gonna just have a rest. No, like every day you should practice already. Okay, so use next one, use various sentence structure, use comparison structure. Yeah, like your language should be different and varied. Speak as much as possible. Like yeah, try to. You'll be given again podcast. You should listen and talk about that. Like by talking, I don't mean retelling. It's not the retelling word by word. By talking, I mean what have you got from this podcast? What is the main idea of the podcast? And while saying these things, yeah, there are some questions, yeah, follow-up questions. You should use the new vocabulary. This is the speaking part. Okay, then and be ready for the spontaneous speech, because while a face-to-face session, you'll be given card as it will be an exam. Like be ready for the real talk, listen and watch as much as you can. Yeah, as I said before, watch due to the internet, due to the our uh, gadgets and devices. Everything is available and very cheap and even free. Yeah, so please use these resources. Like if you like listening to music, just open the lyrics. Yeah, like if you like the Coldplay, there are a lot of kind of lyrics here, and learn by how the words, like it will again it will make you feel comfortable with English language. Okay, so if you have any questions about this, like this session, I believe that you will definitely have the questions. So don't be shy, don't be embarrassed. It's okay to ask the questions. So please, you can leave your questions or you can ask your questions during our face-to-face online sessions. Okay, so please, you can write like what kind of moments you haven't got, what kind of things you haven't understood in certain parts, and we will clarify during the face-to-face session. So I really hope that this session was, this video lesson was helpful or will be helpful for you after watching. So thank you for your attention. So thank you. See you next time. Bye. Goodness, how to